In 1980, families gathered around bulky television sets, flipping through a handful of channels to catch a live game. Broadcasters dictated what you watched, when you watched it, and sometimes even where you watched it. Fast forward to 2023, and the scene couldn't be more different. Imagine a fan in Tokyo streaming a Los Angeles Lakers game live on their phone during a morning commute, while another in London replays an NFL match on a tablet late at night. Today, over 80% of sports fans across the globe consume live games through streaming services, bypassing the rigid schedules of traditional broadcasts. This isn't just evolution, it's a revolution. What was once confined to radio waves and TV antennas is now a borderless, on-demand experience. Streaming has done more than change how we watch sports, it's transformed how we connect with them. It's a story of disruption, innovation, and unprecedented opportunity, one that's still unfolding. In the early 20th century, the world of sports took its first leap into mass communication through the crackling static of radio waves. August 5, 1921, marked a historic moment as KDKA in Pittsburgh aired the first ever live baseball game broadcast. Fans who couldn't afford a ticket or travel to the stadium suddenly had a lifeline to the action. They could sit in their living rooms, close their eyes, and let the vivid descriptions transport them to the field. This wasn't just a broadcast, it was a connection. From the roaring crowds to the crack of the bat, radio painted a picture that united communities and created a shared experience. By the mid-20th century, technology took another giant leap forward, and television emerged as the new frontier for sports. On September 30th, 1939, sports broadcasting crossed into a new dimension when NBC aired the first televised football game, a college matchup between Fordham University and Waynesburg College. Though viewed by a small audience on a fledgling medium, the broadcast showcased the potential of this new technology. Over the next few decades, television evolved into a cultural juggernaut, bringing sports into millions of homes and changing how fans engaged with their favourite teams. The late 20th century became the golden age of television sports, with networks like CBS, NBC, and the newly established ESPN dominating the airwaves. In this era, the power of exclusive contracts reshaped the industry. The NFL secured a groundbreaking deal with CBS in 1962, introducing a new standard for league revenue and visibility. The NBA and MLB followed suit, forging lucrative partnerships with broadcasters eager to capitalize on the growing popularity of live sports. Networks poured resources into production, developing innovations like instant replay and dynamic commentary teams, which brought fans closer to the action than ever before. Yet, the model wasn't without its flaws. By the late 1990s, cracks began to form as cable subscriptions became a prerequisite for accessing live sports. High production costs and increasing rights fees meant that networks had to pass these expenses on to consumers. Meanwhile, a younger generation raised in an era of rapidly advancing technology grew restless. They wanted flexibility, mobility, and control over how they consumed their favorite sports. Traditional broadcasters, bound by rigid schedules and regional limitations, struggled to adapt. The stage was set for disruption, and the rise of streaming services would soon change the game forever. At the dawn of the 21st century, the sports industry began to explore new ways to deliver live action directly to fans, unshackling itself from the confines of traditional TV networks. One of the earliest trailblazers in this digital revolution was MLB.TV, launched in 2002. For the first time, fans could stream live baseball games online, accessing their favorite teams from virtually anywhere with an internet connection. It was a bold and experimental step, but it paved the way for a future where leagues could directly connect with their audiences, bypassing conventional broadcasters. As technology advanced, other innovators joined the fray, each pushing the boundaries further. ESPN Plus arrived in 2018, offering a buffet of live games, exclusive content, and coverage of sports ranging from college football to international soccer. Around the same time, Amazon Prime made waves by securing rights to stream Thursday Night Football, signaling that tech giants were serious about competing in the sports broadcasting space. Meanwhile, DAZN, often called the Netflix of sports, expanded globally, offering fans access to boxing, soccer and other events with a simple monthly subscription. Each of these milestones demonstrated how streaming platforms could deliver diverse and flexible viewing experiences on a scale unimaginable just a decade earlier. Behind this transformation was a technological infrastructure that had quietly been building for years. Broadband internet became faster and more reliable, enabling high-definition streaming without constant buffering. The proliferation of smartphones and tablets meant fans could carry their favorite sports in their pockets, while smart TVs brought apps and on-demand replays directly to living rooms. These innovations didn't just improve access, they elevated the viewing experience itself. Customizable features like multi-camera angles, live stats overlays, and personalized notifications allowed fans to engage with games in ways that traditional TV could never replicate. As these technological advancements matured, a cultural shift began to take hold. Fans, particularly younger audiences, began abandoning costly cable bundles in favor of cord cutting. With streaming services offering affordable monthly plans and the freedom to watch on their terms, the appeal was undeniable. Gone were the days of being tethered to a couch at a specific time to catch a game. Now a college student in a dorm could stream their team's game on a laptop, or a commuter could catch highlights during a train ride. The convenience, accessibility and personalization of streaming platforms resonated deeply, forever changing the expectations of sports fans around the world. Streaming platforms tore down the geographical walls that had long limited access to live sports. In the past, fans living outside a team's broadcast region often had no way to watch their games without resorting to expensive cable packages or unreliable methods. Today, streaming services have turned local games into global spectacles. A soccer fan in Japan can now seamlessly follow Arsenal's Premier League matches in real time, while a die-hard basketball fan in South America can cheer for the Los Angeles Lakers as if they were courtside at the Staples Center. The global reach of streaming has given every fan a front-row seat, no matter where they live. This democratization of sports viewing doesn't stop at mainstream leagues. Platforms like DAZN and YouTube have amplified the visibility of niche sports and lesser-known leagues. Fans of cricket, handball or even drone racing can find curated content at their fingertips. International competitions, once limited to specific regions, now enjoy a worldwide audience. A rugby fan in New Zealand can follow the Six Nations tournament with the same ease as an NFL fan streaming Sunday games. Streaming hasn't just broadened access, it's redefined what fans can access. Beyond accessibility, the viewing experience itself has been transformed. Streaming platforms offer personalization on an unprecedented scale, giving fans more control over how they engage with games. Features like multi-camera angles allow viewers to watch from perspectives tailored to their preferences, whether it's the coach's view from the sidelines or a player's perspective on the field. Live stats overlays provide real-time updates on performance metrics, while chat features create virtual communities where fans can celebrate victories and commiserate over losses together. Behind the scenes, algorithms analyze viewer habits, offering recommendations that align with individual interests. A fan who binge-watches NFL highlights may be prompted to explore college football, while someone following European soccer might receive curated suggestions for international tournaments. This tailored approach keeps fans engaged and ensures they're always discovering new content that resonates with them. However, this golden era of accessibility and customization comes with its challenges. The explosion of streaming options has fragmented sports rights across multiple platforms. A fan who wants to watch both the English Premier League and the NBA might find themselves juggling subscriptions to multiple services, each with its own fees. For many, this can add up to costs rivaling or even surpassing traditional cable bundles. Additionally, the abundance of choice has created a paradox for some fans. While streaming offers unprecedented access, the scattering of games across various services can make it harder to follow multiple teams or leagues seamlessly. For the modern sports fan, the dream of an all-in-one solution remains elusive, leaving some questioning whether the convenience of streaming has come at a cost. Despite these hurdles, streaming continues to reshape the fan experience, opening doors that once seemed firmly closed. For professional leagues and teams, the rise of streaming platforms has unlocked unprecedented revenue opportunities. Exclusive streaming deals have become a goldmine, with leagues securing massive payouts for rights to broadcast their games. The NFL's groundbreaking partnership with Amazon for Thursday Night Football, valued at over $1 billion annually, is a prime example. This deal not only solidified streaming's legitimacy as a broadcasting medium, but also created a new, highly lucrative revenue stream that bypassed traditional TV networks. For leagues, these partnerships represent more than money. They are a direct link to an audience increasingly uninterested in cable subscriptions. Direct-to-consumer models have further revolutionized how leagues and teams generate income. By offering subscription-based streaming services, leagues like the NBA with League Pass or MLB with MLB.tv have taken control of their content. These platforms allow them to sell directly to fans, cutting out middlemen and maximizing profit margins. Beyond game streams, these services often include premium features like behind-the-scenes content, player interviews, and exclusive analytics. For fans willing to pay a premium, the experience is deeply immersive. For leagues, it's a cash cow. Streaming has also proven to be a powerful tool for expanding fan bases beyond traditional geographical boundaries. Take the NBA, for instance, a league that has long been at the forefront of international expansion. With platforms like YouTube and League Pass, the NBA has brought its games to millions of fans in China, Europe, and Africa, many of whom may never attend a live game in person. Similarly, the English Premier League has capitalized on streaming to cement its status as the most watched soccer league in the world, with fans tuning in from remote corners of the globe. In the United States, soccer has experienced a surge in popularity, partly due to streaming platforms like Paramount Plus and Peacock, which broadcast global tournaments and leagues to American audiences. The once niche interest in European soccer has grown into a vibrant fan culture, with US viewers enthusiastically following teams like Manchester United, Barcelona, and Bayern Munich. Streaming has not just connected international fans to American sports, it's also brought international sports into the American mainstream. But while major leagues and teams thrive in this new era, smaller leagues face an uphill battle. Platforms like Amazon Prime and ESPN Plus prioritize big-name contracts with established leagues, leaving less visibility for niche or regional competitions. Smaller leagues often struggle to secure deals that give them meaningful exposure, leaving them reliant on lower-cost streaming solutions or social media platforms that lack the reach of major services. In regions with limited broadband penetration or unreliable internet infrastructure, even the most well-intentioned streaming initiatives can falter. For smaller leagues heavily dependent on streaming for revenue, this creates a precarious financial situation. Without access to the same audiences and resources as their larger counterparts, many risk being overshadowed in an increasingly crowded market. For these leagues, streaming is both an opportunity and a challenge, offering the promise of growth while exposing their vulnerabilities. For decades, traditional broadcasters like ESPN, NBC, and CBS were the gatekeepers of live sports, dictating when and where fans could watch their favorite teams. Their dominance seemed unshakable, built on the foundation of exclusive contracts and billions in advertising revenue. But as streaming platforms began to capture the attention of sports fans, the once mighty cable networks started to feel their grip slipping. The decline in cable viewership has been stark. Millions of households have cut the cord, opting for the flexibility and affordability of streaming services. This shift has hit traditional broadcasters where it hurts most advertising revenue. Sports, long considered a safe haven for live viewership, became one of the last bastions for high-value advertising. Companies were willing to pay top dollar to have their product showcased during primetime games. However, as viewership splintered across multiple platforms and fans migrated to ad-free subscription models, the lucrative ad dollars that sustained traditional broadcasters began to dwindle. Faced with these challenges, traditional broadcasters have been forced to adapt or risk irrelevance. Hybrid models have emerged as a lifeline. ESPN, for example, now offers ESPN Plus as part of a bundled package with Disney Plus and Hulu, combining live sports, entertainment and on-demand streaming into a single offering. This strategy allows them to maintain a foothold in both traditional and digital markets, leveraging their brand equity while reaching new audiences. Other networks have gone all in on developing their own streaming platforms. NBC launched Peacock, a service that blends live sports, original content and archive programming. CBS followed suit with Paramount Plus, which boasts a similar mix of offerings. These platforms are designed not only to retain loyal viewers, but also to attract cord cutters who still want access to live sports. By creating their own streaming ecosystems, broadcasters hope to control their destinies in a rapidly changing landscape. However, the transition is far from seamless. Balancing the needs of legacy cable audiences with the demands of a younger, digital-savvy generation is a delicate act. Older viewers, who are often less inclined to adopt streaming technology, still represent a significant portion of the audience and advertising base. At the same time, younger fans expect more flexibility, personalized content, and competitive pricing, all of which strain traditional business models. Compounding these issues is the sheer competition in the streaming space. With platforms like Amazon Prime, YouTube, and DAZN vying for market share, traditional broadcasters are forced to compete on price, content quality, and user experience. Retaining subscribers in such a crowded field is a constant challenge, and even small missteps can lead to customer churn. For traditional broadcasters, the path forward is fraught with uncertainty, requiring them to navigate a complex and evolving industry while staying true to their roots. The once simple business of broadcasting live sports has transformed into a high-stakes game of strategy and adaptation. For these networks, the question is no longer if they should embrace streaming, but how they can do so without losing their identity or alienating their core audience. The horizon of sports broadcasting is teeming with possibilities, driven by the relentless pace of technological innovation. Virtual reality and augmented reality are poised to redefine how fans experience games. Imagine putting on a VR headset and finding yourself seated courtside at an NBA game, hearing the sneakers squeak on the hardwood and the crowd roar as if you were there in person. AR, on the other hand, could overlay player stats, heat maps, and live tactical breakdowns onto the screen, making every viewing experience a masterclass in strategy. These technologies promise not just to enhance engagement, but to create entirely new dimensions of interaction, blurring the line between reality and digital immersion. Artificial intelligence is another transformative force waiting to be fully unleashed. AI-powered analytics could deliver insights previously unimaginable, offering real-time predictions about game outcomes, player performance, or even coaching decisions. Commentary might evolve into a personalized experience, with AI narrators tailoring insights to a fan's preferences, explaining complex plays to novices, or diving into advanced metrics for seasoned analysts. In a world where data is king, AI stands ready to make every second of a broadcast more informative and engaging. However, as technology evolves, so too will the business dynamics of sports broadcasting. The fragmentation of streaming rights across multiple platforms has already caused frustration among fans, but there's growing speculation that consolidation may be on the horizon. Major players in the industry may begin to bundle multiple rights under a single service, simplifying access, but at a cost. Exclusive mega deals could dominate the landscape, with a handful of platforms monopolizing coverage of major leagues. While this could lead to streamlined viewing experiences, it also risks driving up subscription prices, leaving fans to grapple with whether the convenience is worth the expense. At the same time, fan-centric innovations promise to bring viewers closer to the action than ever before. Streaming platforms are experimenting with interactivity, allowing fans to participate in live polls, predict plays, or even influence camera angles during broadcasts. Gamification could transform passive viewing into active participation, with platforms offering rewards for predicting scores or achievements within the game. Social features such as integrated watch parties or real-time chat rooms aim to recreate the communal feeling of cheering alongside fellow fans, even from miles away. The future of sports broadcasting is a delicate balance between technology, accessibility, and fan engagement. As platforms and leagues push the boundaries of what's possible, they'll also need to ensure they don't lose sight of what makes sports special in the first place. The shared emotion, the suspense, and the stories that unfold with every game. These elements, enhanced but not overshadowed by technology, will determine the success of the next chapter in sports broadcasting. The story of sports broadcasting is one of constant evolution, and streaming has been its most dramatic chapter yet. What began with the simplicity of radio and the grandeur of television has transformed into a digital ecosystem where fans hold the power. Streaming platforms have torn down barriers, allowing global access to games once confined by geography. They've personalized the experience, putting fans in control like never before, and introduced technological innovations that promise to make the future even brighter. Yet, as with any revolution, there are growing pains. Traditional broadcasters have scrambled to adapt, balancing the demands of a digital audience while clinging to the remnants of their cable dominance. Fans, while empowered with options, face the complexity of navigating a fragmented and often expensive streaming landscape. Leagues and teams thrive with expanded revenue streams and broader audiences, but smaller organizations still struggle to find their place in this crowded arena. And so we stand at a crossroads. Streaming has undoubtedly reshaped the way we consume sports, but it's clear this transformation is far from complete. Emerging technologies like VR, Arkansas, and AI hint at possibilities we can only begin to imagine. Meanwhile, questions about accessibility, affordability, and the consolidation of rights loom large. As technology continues its relentless march forward, the future of sports broadcasting remains uncertain. Will streaming solidify its place as the ultimate medium, or is this merely the prologue to an even greater transformation? One thing is certain, the way we experience sports will never be the same. And for fans around the world, that means the game off the field is just as thrilling as the one on it.